So, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen after Trump has trade negotiations with China, and after Trump has trade negotiations with Germany, and after Trump has trade negotiations with Australia? What's going to happen next? Let's see, we got any comments? Wow, we got a lot of comments. Uh, yeah, so basically, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen? I have a feeling, it's just a feeling, but I have a feeling that the trade negotiations between Trump and China are not gonna go well. So, it's just a gut feeling that I have. It's like this intuition. I'm kind of psychic a little bit. Maybe I'm a bit psychic, but I have a feeling that the trade negotiations between Trump and China are not going to go well. Based on how the trade negotiations went between Trump and Canada and Trump and France, something tells me that the trade negotiations between Trump and China are not going to go well. I'm psychic. I have a psychic vision. Have a gift. So it's gonna I am actually scared for the Chinese. I really am. I'm worried for them. I am worried for the Chinese because what is Trump gonna do? What's he gonna blow up? What secrets is he gonna leak? Is he gonna threaten to make China the 51st state or the 52nd state? What creative punishment, what creative revenge is Trump gonna get on China for refusing his deals? Is Trump gonna close down all the Chinese restaurants? What's he gonna do? I don't know about Israel. I don't know anything about Israel. I'm not an expert on Israel. I'm an expert on Russia. And like sometimes I like to make jokes on my channel about the world, but I'm a Russia expert. I'm not an Israel expert. I don't know about enough about Israel to know if I like them or not. So, and did you notice how we like right after Trump and Elon Musk argued and their deal fell through, right after Trump and Elon Musk, the deal fell through. That's when we learned officially, although we kind of already knew he was on drugs, we could tell. I mean, we could tell that Elon Musk was on drugs, but we that's when we officially knew for sure because then the White House confirmed it that Elon Musk is like on ketamine and on all this stuff. So there you go. Another deal that fell through. Every time Trump has a bad deal and he doesn't like when the people don't accept his deal, then he threatens them, he punishes them. If you don't agree to take Trump's deal, he threatens you, he punishes you, he attacks you, he leaks the secret that your wife's really a man. Sorry, French president. It wasn't me. I didn't leak the secret to the media that the French president's wife's a man. But must I say, when I saw looked at a close-up picture of her, wow, she does look like a man. At first I just thought, oh, she's old. Like when I first saw a picture of Bridget Macron, I'm like, really? That's the wife of the French president? He couldn't do better? I was expecting it to be like a supermodel. I was expecting to see like a Victoria runway model to be the wife of the president of the French president. Dude, you're the president of France. You can't get like in a country of France where they have all of these French supermodels walking around the runway. Is this Bizarro World? Do we live in Bizarro World? He is the president of France. There's like all of these beautiful French runway models, and I'm expecting, of course, the French president's wife to be like a supermodel. And I go look a picture of her. I'm like, what is that? Is that is it? Like I can't even. Like I'm not even gonna say really. I'm just gonna say what is that? What is like I could tell it did look like a man. It honestly did. It kind of, but I didn't know for sure when I first saw the picture. And I'm like, nah, these rumors are these rumors legit? Is this really a man? I mean, kind of looks like a man, but I wasn't so for sure. And then sure enough, Candace Owens was like, yep, it's a dude, it's a man. And I'm like, it looks like a man. So. I can't believe like the French president, the president of France, can he not find even just someone to play his wife? Like, can he find a sane French woman to like be his wife, even pretend to be his wife, even though he's like into other things, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what that is. This world is scary. This world scares me and honestly does. I don't nothing makes sense in this world. Nothing makes sense. So, Paul Walker, one of the most richest, gorgeous men. Like Paul Walker, rich, gorgeous, successful, he's gone. Trump declared bankruptcy how many times? Trump's face, man, if I ever like am getting too excited and I need to think of something to stop being let to be less excited, I probably would think of Trump. I mean, his face is like, I don't know, it's like, and so yeah, all these people like Amy Winehouse, what a talented singer. She's gone. Whitney Houston, talented singer, gone. Britney Spears cannot sing for shit. She's still here. She's a good dancer though. I mean, she's definitely a good dancer. Now, Taylor Swift can't sing, can't dance, probably a racist, and Taylor Swift is still here. But seriously, all of the legends gone. Like, even Albert Einstein went way too early. He could have stayed a bit longer, in my opinion. All of the good people are constantly going. McDonald's used to be this happiest place where you got food and a toy. And the toys at McDonald's, when we were growing up, the toys at McDonald's were amazing. Like they had like Batman and Robin collector cups. They had Flintstones toys. They had all of these great toys at McDonald's. Now McDonald's is like it's run by the scariest teenagers I've ever seen. I literally one time I saw them spitting in the food. I could swear I saw them spitting in the food. I was like I said something. I said it looked like, I don't know for sure, but it looked like he spit in the food. I called the health unit. I called the health unit of the city I'm in, and I reported it. Obviously, I didn't report it directly to the McDonald's because I was scared that those teenagers would, you know, pummel me. So instead, I reported it to the health unit of our city, and I called them and I said I could swear that I saw one of the teenagers that works at McDonald's spitting in a hamburger. I could swear I saw him spitting. I was a bit far. I was a bit far back, but I was looking at the kitchen because I'm always paranoid that they're gonna spit in my food. So I'm always looking at the kitchen while I'm like pretending to sit down. I'm pretending to sit down, pretending to look at my phone, but I'm actually really secretly looking at the kitchen, watching them make the food. And I would swear I could see the guy spitting in a burger. Of course, I didn't eat the burger they gave me. I was like, oh, like it was, he might have spit in my food, but I was extremely nice, so it was probably wasn't my burger, unless he's just one of those teenagers that hates everyone and he just spits on everyone's food. Maybe he's like an equal opportunity spitter and he spits in everyone's hamburger. But anyways, I don't know. But I'm like, I'm never eating at McDonald's again. I could swear I saw him spitting in the burger, and I was like super nice. So he was probably actually spitting in someone else's hamburger. But I mean, I don't think anyone deserves it, really. I don't think if there's ever a customer that you don't like, whatever reason, just don't serve them. But don't spit in their food because that's gross. Like that's nasty. And then too, like it's like where do they draw the line? Are they gonna be like, oh, that customer was like screaming, so they spit in the food, or are they gonna be like, oh, that customer didn't say thank you. So now a customer forgetting to say thank you is like, what if that person, like I say thank you, I always say thank you, but what if that person was busy, they were just in a rush, they just went in, paid, left, like maybe they didn't say thank you because they were just in a rush and whatever, and but they paid and they were respectful, they waited, they didn't cause a scene, they ordered, they made a simple order, they ordered, but maybe just for not saying thank you, like they'll spit in your food. Like you never know with these teenagers what they'll do. So I like McDonald's. Like when we were growing up, McDonald's was such a great place with great memories. And now McDonald's is like you look at McDonald's now and you're like, oh my God, this is gross. Like everything's gross. Even the toys. Like I saw one of the recent toys that they had at McDonald's. I'm like, what is this? Do you call that a toy? It was like this little. I'm like, what is that? So yeah, and then so anyways, I will never go to McDonald's, but I guess my stream won't be sponsored by McDonald's. McDonald's is never gonna sponsor my streams. That's unfortunate. And Tim Hortons is great. If you like Tim Hortons and you trust the people who work at Tim Hortons is great. So McDonald's, Tim Hortons, if you like Tim Hortons. If you like Subway, do you like Subway sandwiches? Go get the sub at Subway sandwiches. Do you like Burger King? Well, there's no Burger King in my city, so I don't know what to say about Burger King when we haven't had a Burger King in our city for a while. There's obviously the Burger King is in the main city, There is a main city near us, but it's like an hour away. But my city, there's no Burger King in my city, so I don't know what to say about Burger King. Um, so let's see, Wendy's. Wendy's is all right, I think. Wendy's, I went in there one time. The people seemed normal, whatever. But then I was eating the Wendy's, and there was this bee flying above me, this wasp. And I was like, damn it. This would have been perfect. Like, I didn't see anyone spitting in the food. The workers seemed normal. Everyone seemed nice. The food tasted good. And I'm eating the Wendy's, and suddenly there's a wasp flying over my head. And I'm like, Jesus. Wendy's, another place to cross off the list. I'm like, how did the wasp get in here? So I guess because people are constantly opening the door, a wasp flies in or whatever. But I'm actually scared of bees and wasps. Like it's my fear. So if I ever see a bee or wasp, nope, I'm out of there. I'm gone. I'm like definitely afraid of wasps and bees. If I see one, I'll never go back to the same place. Because of like, what if the wasp remembers me? So. And what we really also need to find out is we need to find out if JD Vance is complicit in all of this Epstein stuff, this Epstein cover up stuff. Because why would Donald Trump choose JD Vance to be his vice president if Trump was in the cover up mode? If Trump and Pam Bondi were going into this new 4 year presidency with the intention to cover up the Epstein files, why would they pick JD Vance to be the VP? Did they pick JD Vance to be the VP because he's like an expert cover upper, like that Mr. Clean guy who like cleans your whole place, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. You know what? A lot of times people who are clean, they're pretty nice, good people. But you know who are also clean freaks? Serial killers. Serial killers are often also clean freaks. So anyone who tries to say, oh, being super clean, super clean. I mean, that's great. I'm also a clean person, but I'm not like one of those super clean freaks. Like, remember that American Psycho movie where the guy in his apartment was like the cleanest you've ever seen? Yeah. Every time I go to well, I don't go to people's places anymore, but if I did, and I walked in it, I'd be like, this place is too clean. This person must be a serial killer. Why is it this clean? Like I'm a bit this is a bit too clean. Like, you know what I mean? So or some places that are too dirty, you'd be like, did I just walk into the dump? Like this. So you have to find a place that's just right. It's not too clean, it's not too dirty, it's just right. It's like maybe there's some books falling over, right? Maybe there's like a little bit of dust like up on the ceiling or not like dust everywhere, but a little bit of dust. So the place has to be like clean but like not too clean and not definitely not too dirty. Oh, and always check for hidden cameras in the bathroom because man, did you see that report on Inside Edition? That scared me from ever wanting to go to a hotel because Inside Edition did this whole report on hotels and hidden cameras at hotels. And they have hidden cameras everywhere now, all over these hotels apparently. So they did a whole Inside Edition special report. They went into these hotel rooms. They found all these hidden cameras everywhere. So, I mean, I don't really care if they see me like, I'm more concerned that they see like me like we have a bag of Cheetos because I love Cheetos. And like I just could just imagine they have pictures of me covered in Cheetos with my Dr. Pepper trolling the internet, putting up funny memes. It's the troll. We found the troll. The hotel like knows that I'm like one of the biggest trolls or something. I have just me like covered in Cheetos with my Dr. Pepper. That would be like an embarrassing photo. Like they got me if they got me on hidden camera at the hotel. So I mean I don't do any like there's good trolls and there's bad trolls. I'm not like a bad troll. I don't do anything like I wouldn't go start like talking about abortion in a Christian group or something. I won't do that. I'm not that kind of troll. There's definitely bad trolls and there's gooder trolls. I mean, but I'm totally gonna call out like bull BS. Like if Trump says he's gonna make Canada the 51st state, yeah, I'm gonna call that out. You know, Trump, how dare you say that you're gonna make Canada the 51st state when we already belong to China? Jesus, Trump, do you have no common sense? Canada has belonged to China for years, okay? And it's not just the fact that there's a Chinese restaurant everywhere. Like, clearly, we have Chinese restaurants everywhere, but our country has become so Chinese that all of the test scores have like skyrocketed. If you go look at Canadian test scores, like 100 out of 100 out of 100, you thought I was gonna see something else, huh? We're like, wait for it. He said, our country has become so Chinese that, and you were expecting me probably to say something else, and then I brought up the high test scores in all of our schools now. Seriously, these kids, these new kids, they're geniuses. Everyone's a genius now. Back then, 30 years ago, when there was a genius, it was all special. That person was special, they got all these special awards, they were in Mensa. Now, all of this new generation in Canada, they're all geniuses. Like, every time you turn on the news, there's like another genius that's like building a rocket with his bare hands or splitting the atom. There's like teenagers in Canada splitting the atom. Like, where are these people coming from? I mean, sure, it's easier now to be a genius when you have Google at your fingertips. But I'm in my 30s, and when I was a teenager, we didn't have like Google. At least not my family, because like I came from a poor family, so we didn't have like we had one computer which we shared for the house. Like I came from a household that had, and I wasn't really allowed to use the computer. I came from a household when I was a teenager. Our house had one computer, and I wasn't really allowed to use it. Only like if I really need something for my homework assignment. Only if I need to look something up for my homework assignment, then I would allow to use the computer. But when I was a teenager, we had one computer for the whole house. So it's hard to be a genius when I was a teenager when like you have to like look up everything by the book. You can't just like search everything on Google. So of course, the only kids that really were geniuses when I was a teenager, they were like they had the internet, like they had their own computer, they were rich kids. Like obviously if you're a rich kid with five tutors, obviously you're gonna be a genius. So me, I could use the computer like once a week maybe if lucky. I had no tutors. I was bullied and they threw garbage at me. They called me several names. The teachers spread rumors about me. You heard that right. The teachers spread rumors about me. So I have not really a funny story. It's actually kind of sad. My mother went to my parent teacher interview, And my science teacher, outed me to my mother. And I was in the car, like I had good test marks in science. I was on the honor roll. I had 80s and 90s in science, so I was averaging an 88 in science class, 88. So when my mother went to my parent teacher interview with my science teacher, I was expecting the science teacher to say I was an honor student, 88 average. But what the science teacher told my mother was that the science teacher suspected that I was a homosexual. And in the car ride with my mother going home, my mother was screaming at me, doing like 80 and like my mother was screaming at me profanity because and like this was a deep secret that it was a secret. I wasn't openly anything in high school. I was definitely very closeted about everything. You know, I was closeted. I didn't, I was focused on trying to like get a scholarship because I came from a poor family. So I had to work my butt off. I really didn't have time for relationships, nothing. I didn't, and so really me not having a girlfriend was kind of one of the big suspicions in high school people had about me because I didn't have a girlfriend. But like I was busy. I was working. I had to work part time at the family business, and I was doing high school, and I was trying to get good marks. I was on the honor roll. I was also an athlete. I did sports because I was trying to do co-curricular stuff to get a scholarship. So, and then when the science teacher outed me, which I wasn't even like openly anything I wasn't open about, but when the science teacher outed me, then like I severely got bullied. If I thought I was getting bullied before, when the science teacher officially outed me to my mother, was I was just like so I was grilled and people asked me. I still denied it. I still totally denied it, right? But I had called my one friend and I was crying on the phone. And I told my one friend, I told her all about how my mother was screaming at me, accusing me of being, And then my friend, who I thought was my friend, she told everyone at school that the science teacher told my mother that she thought I was gay. And so then the whole thing went from being like a suspicion to being a full out, like, I was outed officially. So yeah, it's hard to get a scholarship and be one of the smart students when you're being constantly bullied and they throw garbage at you. And I was in a religious school. It wasn't a public school. It was a religious high school, so they were religious on top of it. So my teachers then were even telling me that I was going to hell. I was in religion class, and we all had to read like these prayers, and so everyone got up in religious class to read these prayers, and this was after it was I was outed, even though I never admitted to being a homosexual. This is after I was outed, and so we were in religious class, and then the teacher made everyone get up and do prayers, and then I was actually given a solo prayer, which had something to do with going to hell. And I had to get up in class in front of everyone and read this weird, creepy passage in the Bible, which is funny because I was forced to go to Catholic school. I never wanted to go to Catholic school because I'm a scientist. I don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in science, but I don't believe in that other stuff. So the teacher made me read a part of the Bible that has something to do with something about going to hell. And I was like, did she give this part to me because she thinks I'm going to hell because she thinks I'm a homosexual? Is that why the teacher gave me this Bible passage about something about going to hell? So, anyways, and then one time I was walking. Well, actually, this was in my 20s. This was after high school. I was walking because I still really couldn't afford a car when I was in my early 20s. So one time I was walking on the sidewalk, and these guys, they looked like teenagers, but they were in a car. Obviously, they were teenagers driving, so they were probably about 18, 19, and they were driving along the road, And then I guess they were doing this foghorn prank where they blast your ear with a foghorn. So I'm just like walking down the street on the sidewalk. Next thing you know, bow bow, like foghorn right in my ear. And I turn to the side, and these guys are in the car, and they start laughing. They start laughing their butt off. And then they drive away. Then they drive. And they just like Jesus, like I can't even walk down the street. I can't even walk down the sidewalk without being bullied or harassed. So that's why when I was growing up and there were all these people in Canada saying, "Oh, those Russians are so evil. Those Russians are so evil." I'm like, the Russians never bullied me. As far as I know, maybe the high school students that bullied me, were they secret Russians? Were they like Russians posing as Canadians? Like unless they were Russians posing as Canadians, the Russians never bullied me. I never had an issue with Russia. So when Canada kept saying the people who bullied me, when the Canadians who bullied me, the Canadian government was saying, "Oh, Russia this and Russia that," and I'm like, well, Russia never bullied me. I have no problem with Russia. Like, why would I have a problem with with Russia? If anything, Russia's my ally because the enemies of my enemy are my friend, and Canada has always been my enemy. They have always bullied me. They have been like crazy religious. Like we got some crazy religious people in Canada, and if they're not religious, they're just flat out psychopaths. They just like bullying people. No, the erms and the ums are because um the erms and the ums are simply because it's more of like a comical thing. So basically when I'm telling a story, like I'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. Or I'd be like, I think we would figure that out. Or I'd be like, probably that never happened. So that's where the ers and the ums come from. I do it as part of my comedy routine. But thanks for accusing me of being a liar. Thank you, whoever said that. I don't know. Someone said something about, oh, he did it, but he says a lot, and he says a lot, whatever. So that might mean that he's an indication he might be lying. No, I'm not lying. I was severely bullied. I'm not lying about that. It's like severely traumatic for me. That's why I'm still talking about it in my 30s. It's traumatic when you're still talking about it in your 30s. It was as if it just happened yesterday. And then what was really traumatic too was my English teacher, who I thought she was cool with me. I thought we were kind of okay, but I guess whatever. She decided to put me at the prom table with um. Well, okay, I can't really. Okay, she decided to put me at a prom table. Well, I didn't know. I guess I was like a um I don't know. I mean, maybe she was right. I mean, but I guess I was a special. I guess I was a special ed student. Do I sound like I'm special ed? I guess I am because when I went to prom, she sat me, and I know I didn't really have friends, so she probably was trying to figure out where to put me. But she put me at the table. Well, she put me at the special ed table, so I was at the special ed table. And I was like, wow, this is great. This is great. They were nice, actually. They were all nice. Actually, that was the best thing. It was good that she put me at the special ed table because when everyone else, all the cool kids were dancing and laughing at me and pointing at my braces and saying I looked like a nerd, um, I was having a great time at the special ed table because they were nice to me at least. They weren't bullying me. So, but it was great because actually I got to go home. I went home early, and I read my novel. Well, I'm reading a new novel. It's called White Plague by James Abel, and it's about like these viruses in the Arctic. James Abel, he likes to write a lot about the Navy SEALs, and he writes about the Marines and special ops, special operations. And